Lots of meditation. Let's do it. Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. Welcome to today's session. Once again, we're here to make this awesome for you. Let's walk our way into the temple. And as we're entering the temple, I just invite you to make it really meditative. Watch your mind and get ready to make it powerful and special for you. And I want to mix it up a little. I can say, make this meditative, make it strong, meditation's helpful and it's nice. But it really is. If you make meditation part of your every moment, you can make your moments much more peaceful or empowered. You can literally change every moment of your experience. So, this is meant to be epic. Please make it epic. I'll have more to say about that as we grab our seats. So let's all make our way in. I'll ring the bell, a little bit of tradition. And as you have a moment with the enlightened being, consider that part of you that is completely empowered, that knows completely everything's a habit, everything can be transformed, that has access to profound peace and happiness and bliss. Just always set your sights on it. Go for a refuge in that part of you. So welcome everybody. So as I was saying, I really invite you and want to emphasize to make these moments as awesome as you can. I was talking with someone this week about noticing your mind and being able to change your experience. They were talking in a Buddhist context to be free from suffering. And I was like, hey, I can show you how to do that. And they're like, oh, it takes 8 lifetimes. You're not qualified to show me. And I just thought, what a load of trash. Whoever is teaching people that kind of nonsense, it's just dangerous. When you really look at your mind directly and learn how to do it, you can take yourself into different states. You can retrain your habits. You can retrain your life. And I want you to feel the immediacy of it, the epicness of it. Envisage that from this moment on, you are more awesome. And each and every day you tap into that more awesome part of you. So welcome to those of you who've just joined us. Welcome, come on in. It's great to have you all here. I'm going to say it again because I think it's just great to hear. When we are watching our mind and choosing and training how we want to be, we can choose to feel happy and empowered and awesome wherever we go. And it's just been really hitting me this week that for 20 years I've been saying that to people, and a lot of people it's made their life better. Hundreds, maybe thousands of people. But the number of people who've taken it and internalized it and been like, wow, I'm going to see everything through that lens, that I get to choose how I'm going to be. Every thought I have, I know that that's just what I'm practicing. How I think about myself and my life, completely put it in the lens that I can practice it and change it. This should be central to how everybody lives their life. If you're not looking at your mind with every thought and feeling, you're just on autopilot. You're asleep. And I want to get us to wake up. I want you to tap into bliss and be excited and happy. I want you to tap into confidence. I want you to see any thoughts or ideas you have about yourself that aren't helpful, just put them aside and say, hey, I'm going to completely retrain that part of me. How do I want to be? Awesome. I'm going to keep thinking that and practicing that until it just feels so great and it's how I am all the time. So, with that intention, we're going to start with a little meditation, because epic ideas, if you hear them often, work and they're helpful. You combine that with meditation and letting it settle and sink into your mind and percolate through all the layers, you can make this transformation even more powerfully, quickly, and easily. So I invite everybody to get comfortable and just consider, hey, I'm training my mind. I am taking my consciousness to be as epic, as good, as wonderful as I can. Just while I plug in my power, I invite you to think about, hey, meditation, it's like charging my computer. I need this power to be able to direct myself. Then I invite you to sit up straight, close your eyes, and forget any other meditation practice you've ever done. Just for now, I invite you to really follow what I'm suggesting. And I invite you to imagine a perfect meditation. Imagine that you bring your attention into the nose where the air comes in and out. It's like a single point anchor to just have every part of your mind focused on that point. It's all you hear, it's all you feel. As all the different thoughts and other activity in the mind fades away, you start to feel epically spacious and powerful and stable and peaceful. So we're not actually doing that meditation right now. I just invite you to imagine it. And as you imagine it, you step into this perfect meditation. Imagine your mind is perfectly focused on that point. Imagine every moment of the breath captivates your mind. To feel every moment, to hear every moment, for your consciousness to feel epic. And then notice how you feel, and imagine how your body and mind would feel in the most beautiful, profound meditation. The kind of relaxation and ease and comfort. And the beautiful feeling of relaxation in the body just fades away, and you go back into just having a vacation of complete awareness of that single point, feeling and hearing the breath. And with each breath you take, Let that intensity grow. Make that intensity beautiful and strong. My consciousness, so precious. It's what I have every moment of my life. I'm powering it up. I'm watching it. I'm waking it up. Learning how to focus it epically, beautifully, powerfully. With this simple practice of just breathing. Watching every little nuance of my experience wrapped up in the breath. And next I invite you, you may want to go even deeper into that single pointed meditation. My words will just wash over you as more and more of your consciousness becomes that single point, that stillness, as you learn to watch every little detail of your consciousness and focus it more and more. Or you may choose to have a rest from that. And I invite you to imagine what it would be like to live every moment mindfully. Let yourself practice and envisage the most happy, most confident, most expressive, strong, skillful, kind version of yourself. If you were completely the master of your mind, live, rehearse, enjoy being that you. Everybody, watch what you're doing with your consciousness right now and imagine it being so much more focused and powerful, and then continue the meditation. And then let us contemplate. Keep watching your consciousness and make these positive suggestions or insights as strong, as powerful, as deep, as beautiful as you can. If you've ever noticed the power of your attention to literally transform food, you can eat a meal and not pay any attention and almost not even notice the flavor. Or you can eat it as you normally would and enjoy a meal or dislike the meal as you normally would. Maybe you've also noticed somebody points out and describes some delicious little nuance in the flavor. Or they're so excited to share the meal with you and it tastes so much better than it normally would. Let yourself consider how amazing that is. That even your sensations can be radically transformed with your attention. And if you were to take this lens through to different parts of your life, you make healthy food much more delicious. You make music soothe your soul. Sunrises and sunsets so much more beautiful. Things you appreciate could make the appreciation feel just epically wonderful. And just let yourself imagine different areas of your life and make it as beautiful, as wonderful as you can. Or perhaps there are some things where your current habit was to enjoy something that's not helpful. You could imagine taking your mind there and changing how you feel about it. Creating the lens in which you see the world that is blissful and awesome for you and takes you into more and more healthy, uplifting, wonderful ways of being. Likewise, we can do the same thing with how we feel about people, how we respond to different kinds of conversations, different subcultures. So take your enlightened lens and feel yourself transforming. I could suggest that you have so much more enjoyment and love and confidence and help wherever you go. But really, I want you to take your enlightened lens and rehearse how you would feel and how you'd see and interpret everyone to be the most awesome version of you, whatever you would choose to be most awesome. whatever would strengthen you the most, empower you the most. The mindset that would bring you the most ease and comfort and playfulness. Maybe you'd like to imagine infinite compassion, overflowing kindness and care in every interaction you have. Every interaction just becomes beautiful because it's floating on a sea of infinite love. And likewise, as we can change the lens for flavors, for people, how we enjoy different styles of music, different kinds of activities, we can also change our lens of how we see life. How do we handle change? How do we handle sickness, birth, death, moving to different places, people coming, going, communities changing? Imagine and rehearse and know that you can be that mindset, that it is centered, that is powerful, that is loving in every moment. Any other attitudes or thoughts, they were not chosen. Feel the mindset that you choose. You make it so much bigger and stronger than anything else. Breathe into that empowered, blissful, fully awake version of yourself. Deepen this core insight. Yes, you cannot notice the food, or the food can be more delicious. Do you feel that in your core, in your bones? You can change your experience. You can change yourself. Feel it. The complete power that your consciousness has to completely change your experiences. Someone else might have had an idea where that food was horrible, and whenever they taste it, it tastes so bad. The realm of possibilities with consciousness is so big. Expand your knowing of what you can be and feel. You enjoying a flavor. But actually, if you dive into the infinite bliss in yourself, you can enjoy it massively more. Feel, know the space of possibility of conscious states is epic. How beautiful and profound and important it is to master your consciousness and to free your mind, to liberate yourself from whatever bubbles or expectations you have. breathe into that strength. Empower that part of you that is making every moment more beautiful, more useful, more wonderful, more wholesome. And as we've had some new people arrive, let's just take a breath, let our minds settle. And as we look at how we guide our consciousness, if I was to say, let's meditate, every one of us would do something different. The way we'd move our consciousness and what we'd do would all be different. Some of us have found ways that are more effective. Some of us focus on other things. But I want to show you that just like mastering meditation becomes this single pointed focus, we can also master guiding our consciousness in every moment. So I invite you to imagine a perfect meditation. We start with the breath as the anchor. Find the point where you feel the breath coming in and out of the nose. And imagine all your physical sensations becomes that point. You hear the breath. Imagine the breath is all you hear. Imagine you know that as you meditate, you're becoming pure goodness, refining your consciousness, pure strength, powerful wisdom. Imagine if every fiber of your being knew that as you meditate, you connect with infinite power, goodness. You become all that you can be. If your mind's been completely immersed in that goodness, imagine it feeling more powerful, visually more beautiful, felt and experienced a billion times more completely. Or if your mind wandered a little, imagine what it's like for your consciousness to just keep coming back more focused, more quickly, more epically. Every breath diving more fully into focus, into power, into bliss, into calm, into watching your consciousness, into being fully conscious. And for the last couple of minutes of the meditation, decide what from this meditation you'd like to take into your future meditations. I invite you to think of yourself as an enlightened being. Every moment you go for refuge in the part of you that's as wise as possible. You step out of any habits or reactions and step into the part of you that is infinite peace and spaciousness. Always going for refuge in that enlightened being within you. Take another few moments to remember this meditation. Think about anything that was helpful or insightful. Feel anything you want to feel again. Decide anything you want to decide, or affirm anything you want to affirm. We just had some people join. So let yourself imagine how you would describe this meditation, how you describe the most helpful insights you had, or the peak moments. Perhaps you could describe a lot of it. Perhaps you could describe a little bit. If you've just arrived, imagine that you just had the best meditation of your life. What that would be like. What you'd feel like right now. So Tazimo on the live stream has said, may you all be well. Let's all just take a couple of breaths. Feel yourself being well. Appreciating the gift you gave yourself to take some time to be more mindful, to be more strong, to be more at ease, to make life more delicious, to make your consciousness more awake, to make your interactions with others more beautiful. And also, may you all be well. Take some time to feel your well-wishing for others, that you would wish for all people to feel ease, to feel cared for all people to have kindness, happiness, awareness. And as we come out of the meditation, I just invite you to think, what would you describe from the meditation? How would you share what you just experienced, or how would you tell somebody what we did? And whoever would like to, please share.
I'd like to share.
Please.
With this meditation, I felt fully conscious, and I was able to focus on my consciousness completely. And I don't think I've ever felt this conscious before in meditation. At least not in a very, very long time. I think this will help me with many things, and I want to ask, is it possible to feel this way even outside of meditation?
That's a wonderful question. The answer is yes. If you keep, well, I was going to say, if you keep practicing it, as well as practice what it's like to keep going after the meditation. I'm guessing now you still feel quite conscious, like the overflow from the
Yeah.
meditation is there. So if you do it often, the overflow will just be there more and more. You can also
And
prime
I feel
yourself.
like. Oh, go ahead.
I
I'll
was going
let
to say,
myself finish when you're.
you can also prime yourself while you're in that meditation feeling amazing. You could imagine feeling that great while talking about enlightenment with your friends. And then next time your brain triggers that situation, you tap back into it. Or while
I
you're
was.
chopping, yeah, after you.
Oh. Um. I felt like I was able to get rid of any physical pain or mental pain. The mental pain just kind of went away. Just went away. Actually, I didn't even try it. It just kind of disappeared. And even well, I don't really have any physical pain, but like I felt completely separated from my body essentially, and it was all everything felt mental, and I felt this could potentially help with things like lucid dreaming, astral projection, potentially communicating with deities or spirits of any kind.
So, Cypher, when I first started tapping into this epic conscious power, I also started to think, wow, perhaps supernatural things are possible. I had no idea my state of mind could be this powerful. I would suggest uh, trying to use this state of mind in the most real way you possibly can. You are then able to share it with everybody, and after spending years trying to do that other stuff, I would say it's a waste of time. Um, but back to my first point was, if you can practice this mental pain freeness, just that is so beautiful. If you can carry that and share it with others, there are billions of people who you can wonderfully help in their life. And if you can do the same thing for social ease, there are billions of people. If you just share with them how it is to shift your consciousness and be comfortable wherever they go, there's just so much help that it can bring. Hey, I'm curious. You were saying that getting in this meditation, you were super conscious. I would love it if you could remember how we got there. Perhaps you could describe it to Buddhalicious or to the others that are watching, what we did to get there. Also, to help you remember so that you can guide yourself with
I
that into the future.
I think focusing on my breathing and one thing, or just focusing on one thing and putting all of my consciousness into one thing, was kind of like a bridge. Imagine it like a bridge to full consciousness. And that breathing eventually, of course, I still tried to focus on it as much as I possibly could. At some point, it felt like I didn't really have to focus on my breathing and simply focus on my consciousness.
Wonderful. So I just wanted to add to that. We started by not focusing on our breath, but by imagining we had perfect focus on the breath. We were priming our mind for what that would be like. What would it feel like to be totally focused on the breath? What would the mind be like? The spaciousness, the ease, the power to completely hear the breath, to completely feel the breath. And I described this wonderful state, and we recorded it, so I encourage you to listen to it again on the recording. And so we set up this awesome meditation. We focused on the setup, and then the setup turned in to this awesome meditation. So to everyone who liked it, I encourage you to go back and do that guided meditation again and see how it was guided, and learn to guide it like that for yourself. And anyone who wasn't here, I invite you to go back and have that experience again. And so, Cypher, back to your question of can we experience that in our day-to-day life? You can definitely set it up so that you'll have moments like that. As I said, you can prime yourself that next time you're talking about enlightenment with people, it taps back into this feeling and you're sharing from that place. I want to add to that is, if you were to meditate an epically wonderful meditation a few times a day, you would notice the overflow effect of the meditation just got bigger and bigger and lasted longer and longer. And as you
So
continue,
potentially lasting the entire day eventually.
well, that's absolutely the hope, yes. And just like when we're practicing meditating on the breath, you notice if the mind goes, and you learn how to steer it more powerfully. you will also have that throughout the day. You're in this wonderful state, and then you see something that took you out of it, and you remind yourself how to come back here. And then you think, okay, next time that sort of thing happens, here's how I'll respond to stay in the strength the whole time. So you're actually learning how to navigate your consciousness through life. So those of you who are on the live stream, if you want to mention anything or ask any questions, please feel like you're here with us. Cypher, is there anything else you'd like to share from your experience or questions you'd like to ask?
I think the largest or the biggest thing that this meditation brought to me is the great potential for me to tap into metaphysical beings. And that's pretty much my primary goal with meditation, is being able to contact spirit guides and as well as deities, mostly to gain more knowledge and to understand certain topics of certain. It's a little complicated to explain, but I guess right now I'm trying to contact certain deities and certain spirit guides, more of kind of like a guide through life, so to speak.
So,
And
Cypher,
those are
having
kind
spent
of
time in that stuff, I'm certain it's just in your imagination. 100% certain that all of these spiritual things is complete delusion.
I understand that. I do believe in a lot of metaphysical
I mean,
things, and
I used to believe it
I've
too.
been
And then by reflecting on it and seeing that one group of people who would tell themselves a certain thing, and then another group of people that would tell themselves some other thing, after a while they brainwash themselves into having these experiences. All the power and creativity is within you. Please don't waste your time on it. I would have been so much further along if I hadn't wasted time on that stuff. If you want understanding about things, learn how they work. Your imagination creatures may be helpful or maybe not. It doesn't matter if you believe it or not. If it's true or not is what is important. And that might sound conceited for me to say that with such knowing, but having spoken to spirit guides and having had all the experiences you've said, and then reflecting back upon it, I now know that it's just delusion. I let myself be tricked by these groups and practiced. And yes, like you said, you can make your mind awesome, which then lets you imagine and create things. It's your imagination. Use your imagination for things that are important, the things that are real. You know why? Apart from truth being so important, another reason it's so profound is we can change our consciousness so beautifully. You can make it that things become more delicious, that hard things become easy, that things that cause other people to suffer, you can just cruise through them. It's wild how much we can change our consciousness, and every human deserves that. But if a good fraction of people who start to learn how to do that also allow themselves to talk to imaginary friends, then most people say, oh, spirituality is retarded. Do you know how much suffering and unnecessary chaos is left in the world because we've just allowed ourselves to let our fantasies direct what we do with our consciousness? Please, please stay grounded in what's real. There are billions of people who could use the insights and power you have. And if you go off into delusions, not only will you not be able to help so many people, some of them you will misguide, and they'll be bad decisions and chaos and suffering caused by it. And the part of you that believes these things and is excited about these things, I invite you to imagine that the actual power within you is epically more awesome. The wisdom and the goodness that you instantly have available to is so much more.
I'll definitely take what you're telling me into consideration.
Please, and thank you. And if you can hear the intensity in my voice, it's me caring for you and having gone through similar things, having been in a similar place decades ago. And yeah.
I do question what led you to stop believing in the things that you believed in.
I started to ask myself about evidence. What other explanations are for this? How else could I see this? And the practical explanations that people start thinking something over and over and then start to imagine it just seem to make so much more sense. You know, you seeing spirit guides and someone else seeing angels and someone else seeing eight-armed deities, the explanation you have may not explain all those other things. But hey, our brains do what we keep focusing on does explain it. Similarly, a lot of people ask what happens after this life. And I thought I had figured it out. But then I reflected. Billions of people for millennia have been debating over that. Does anybody know? People fight with each other over these imaginations. And even if I knew for sure, because my meditations had shown me, I would never be able to convince anyone else. Sure, I could brainwash some people and they'll hear enough times what I said and maybe they'll imagine it too. But it's fantasy. Like nobody knows. And it just made me really realize that the real world that we have is just so much more important. Even if it was true, and I'm definitely not saying it is, it's still so much more important for you to learn how to master life. The gift that you can give to so many people around you by actually living well and helping the material world, it's orders of magnitude more awesome than helping a few other people be able to imagine imaginary beings more. If you go and tell people, oh, I've tapped into awesome meditation, I find peace and happiness within me, oh, and I can speak to entities, most people will then just shut off and think what you've just done is nonsense. The true power that we can watch our consciousness and change how we feel, that is just so profound. It's like the whole world, every single person, as far as I've seen, of the billions of people, I've been searching for people who've really mastered just choosing happiness, choosing peace. It's a tiny little slither of humanity. And if you're able to do that, that is such a gift that you can share with others that the whole world needs. And if you pollute it with imaginary beings, you're just leaving millions of humans in suffering. And I would say that's selfish as well as deluded. And I know that you care about goodness. You want to be in touch with something that's big and important. And that big, important thing is there inside you. And it's in every person you speak to. And it's right here, right now, and it's real. Imagine if every person you spoke to, you felt like you were speaking to a deity. Every person, that conversation, the preciousness of the goodness you give them was a profoundly spiritual moment. You also asked what other things led me to stop believing. I started learning more about statistics and counterfactuals, and the times where I thought something was real, and then I would reflect, oh, perhaps I remembered the moments where it seemed more real, and I was forgetting all the moments where things didn't work. And I just really noticed how much I'd been working to convince myself of something. And I thoroughly think everyone should be very skeptical. Have one part of you trying to pull something down, some part of you that's also looking for what's true. And the things that are really true will win. And the things that get pulled down are probably incorrect. And the real world that we all share, we should just get awesome at that. And if you imagine yourself over the next few decades, every person that you speak to, and the influence you're going to have on every one of them, think of like the multiverse of all the possibilities. If you were to go and give every one of them happiness, or every one of them kindness, or every one of them mindfulness, or you share it in a way that helps some of them. Think of all the possibilities of every interaction you have from now going forward. And the most achievable, awesome impact. Please meditate on that. Head to that. Focus on that. People out there on the live stream can hear me right now, but we'll be back in just a moment. And I hope the meditation for you was great. And I hope that the insight about guiding your mind by envisaging how you want it to be and feel, I hope that's something that you carry with you in every moment. So let's go back to the mini temple. All right, we're back. Great to have you all here. So thank you for your patience, everyone. I had a thought while I was out. that so often when I look at meditation teachings, the core essence of master your mind gets so diluted, not necessarily in deities and spirits, but just in so many other teachings, that people go to approach mastering their consciousness, and it's just hard, because you've got all of these different random stories. You've got some teachings about watch your mind and learn how to guide it. And then you've got all these other teachings of just so many other stories. It's very diluted, is what I'm saying. I've tried to make these classes concentrated. I've tried to make everything I say as helpful as possible. But if this is being dropped into a bucket full of all of that other diluted stuff, it may not be as helpful as I would hope. So I invite you, whenever you're with different groups of people who are studying how to train their mind or how to improve themselves, try to remember the most empowered teachings, the most happy, joyful, strong, awesome teachings, and make them stand out in your mind. Make them so big that when you think about the subjects, these core pillars are central to what you think about and what you feel, and all the other noise, it shouldn't take up space. Just the stuff that helps. And always be open that a new insight might come along that may actually even change one of those pillars or improve it massively. Or perhaps that pillar is just one part of a superset of something better. For example, compassion meditation's great, and gratitude meditation's great. But actually, whatever positive feeling you keep practicing becomes epic. That's, as far as I know, the underlying truth that compassion meditation fits in, or gratitude fits in. So be exploring for the most fundamental and most powerful ways to think about and understand your mind. And try to refine it, concentrate it, cut away anything that could dilute it. Not just from Buddhist teachings, but in your own mind. Just really make what's important to you stand out. Give it your attention and your time and your emotion every day. I'm just going to set up the camera because the live stream right now is seeing through my eyes. So those of you who are still here on the live stream and you were present while we were all chaotic like that, hats off, I salute you. All right, there we go. So I'd love to hear from those of you who are here on in the temple or on the live stream. Let's hear some of your thoughts, critiques, questions. The meditation that we did, I think, was epically good. Got a little railroaded by the superstitions, but perhaps we could revisit how the meditation was for you. Or maybe you have some other question or comment about what we've done today or anything. You know, these sessions are here for you. Anybody? Lou?
Oh, what was that? Sorry.
Just wondering what you're thinking, what you have to share with us right now.
I guess I'm a bit in space, huh? Um, I guess it's hard for me to visualize the right mindset to overcome a lot of things,
I'm
to
so
be at
glad you
peace and all
shared
that.
that. Thank you for being open. So I would suggest to you, instead of phrasing the question to yourself as the mindset to overcome things, I invite you to imagine an awesome mindset. A mindset where that other stuff doesn't even exist. Just let me tell you why I phrase it like that. So I used to be incredibly shy. And if I was thinking about how to not be shy, I would be practicing feeling kind of okay, and I can calm the shyness down. And then if I'd perfected that, I would have felt kind of okay and a little less shy. But what I actually practiced was I love talking to people and I feel great wherever I go. The thing that I practiced, shyness wasn't even in that world anymore. And it's actually a stumbling block many people can get in. I even notice sometimes when I'm working on something, I'm thinking about where the problem is instead of just becoming something more awesome. I do it less now, but it's something that it's still good to be aware of. When you're thinking about things, are you rehearsing the kind of way of being that's caught up in the issue, or are you imagining what you'd actually like to be like? So, Lou, I invite you to imagine if you just forgot about all those problems, what would your ideal you be like? How, not even how, imagine feeling as great and awesome, as wonderful as you can. Now, I hope that is helpful and that you will then imagine that and let those ideas keep growing until you can feel them and embody them and be them more and more. Now, it is possible you were already attempting that, and perhaps you meant that you can't really imagine them. So if it was the second case where you were trying to imagine the ideal, I've also had things I wanted to change. And I'd try to imagine it, but it was just so foreign to me that I couldn't feel it.
Yeah.
I couldn't really imagine what it would be like. And for that, I encourage you, this might sound simple, but to just keep trying. So, for example, I used to be really sad. I'd been lonely and teased for a long time, and I'd been meditating on sadness and depression. And then I learned, hey, you can change your mind. And I kind of understood that meant I could be happy. But that seemed so foreign. But I just wrote out, I feel okay. I feel okay. And I'd say it, and I couldn't really envisage it. But 3 times a day, I'd say it, and I'd try to feel it. And a few days in, I got a glimpse of it, and I was like, that was, okay, it slipped away again. But yeah, there was a few seconds where that felt good. And then 6 hours later when I did it again, I had a few seconds more of it. And then 6 hours later when I did it again, I had like 20 seconds of it. And then a few days into that, I was letting myself really feeling okay. And then a month into that, I had changed my card. I'd put that one away and I'd written, I feel happy. And I was practicing feeling really good. So from not even being able to glimpse it, to just practicing lots and lots and lots, to glimpsing it, making it feel better, and then being able to set my sight something even higher. And you might be trying already all the time. So I invite you to actually write it down. Make it something very specific so your brain can rehearse and create and fill in the gaps and fill in the feelings of this one brain program. So if you have an idea of the good states of mind, I really encourage you to write them out and try and imagine it multiple times on a day. And if you glimpse it for just a half a second, say yes. Like, yeah, I'm doing it. And then you get a little more, and then you get a little more. And just celebrate every moment in which it's growing and know that it's growing.
I like to think towards compassion when it comes to that, but it can be a bit frustrating forcing compassion and then just like forcing myself to try a bit harder each day in that regard. Just like, as you say, pushing your limit.
Okay, so that's also great
It can be
feedback.
a bit frustrating.
So I encourage you with compassion to try and do it in a way that's fun. Maybe you have some friends that you feel really good about, and so I would meditate on them and just make the good feeling better. And when you're in this, oh wow, cool, I feel even better about my friends. Then you think of the friends you feel about, and you just pour some of that good feeling on them. Make that as like fun and enjoyable and beautiful as you can. Yes, there are some important changes that we might not know how to make it fun, and I thoroughly encourage people to still work on the things that are very important for yourself. But wherever possible, if you can tap into a way where it's already good and ride that wave of it getting better and better, that's going to work better and it's going to be more motivating and more fun. So Lou, can you think of some friends or family members where if you tap into compassion, it's a pretty nice feeling?
Yeah, it's quite easy when it comes to family, I guess.
Great.
Maybe I have too big of a pool of people I'm choosing to try and be compassionate towards.
Yeah, I would start with the people where it's easy and just make it feel good. Like meditate on that good feeling, feeling better and sweeter and kinder and more lovely, and then overflow that to your friends and make that better and sweeter and more
I'll do
lovely.
my
And then,
best.
yeah, and yeah, states of consciousness that we choose should be awesome and easy and wonderful. That's what I'd hope we would choose. And so we try to practice them being awesome and easy and wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing. I'm really glad I asked. So just to reiterate, because it's easy to remember things when they're said again and when they're concentrated. When we're trying to train our minds, focus on what you'd actually like to be like, rather than like dealing with the stuff that's here. I talk about liberating our minds. So often we just are caught up in our current behaviors, or humans are. So the idea of just practicing being awesome is It's a jump that many people just won't take in their imagination. So I'm inviting you to take that jump. And then the second thing we covered is sometimes when you try to imagine that jump, you can't really feel it. So if we meditate on it each day and keep practicing it, then we begin to feel it more and be able to envisage it more, and we're able to think about it more. And in any way that you can already do it, like with compassion, thinking about your family, or with confidence, thinking about how you are with your friends that you're totally at peace with, or thinking about enjoying and loving salads. There are some foods you like. Remember what it's like to like food, and then just imagine, oh wow, I like salads. Be a brain engineer and make it easy. Take the things you've got and the mental states you've got that are good and use them. Learn to navigate your thoughts through the ways that feel great and strengthen the pathways that will make you awesome. Thanks so much for sharing, Lou. I think they were all wonderful topics. I hope that the answers will be as helpful for you as they were for me. So I'm inspired for us to do a compassion meditation combined with the theme we were doing before about the epicness of mastering our consciousness. We have time for perhaps one more question or topic before we do our closing meditation. So has anyone got anything they would like to share or ask? All right. Well, I think it's time for us to begin our meditation. Can I see with a wave who has done compassion meditation before? A couple of you. All right. So as I was alluding to, is compassion meditation is a way to take caring and kindness and grow it. And if we do that a bit, like each day for a while, you'll find yourself feeling a lot more patient and kind with others. I know for me, I was quite angry and nervous. And then when I was practicing kindness meditation, I started to just wish well for others. So when I would be talking to people, I had this kindness sort of welling up inside of me, so that when I talked to people, it was easier and it was funner. And then as I kept practicing kindness meditation, I felt my priorities expand. Like, what can I do that can really contribute to the world? And how can I be more understanding towards everybody? And as I kept practicing compassion, I would also think about all of the animals. And it's many people live their lives without really thinking about the impact they have on others. And I found that by caring about the environment, it just helps me live a life that feels more beautiful, and I'm much more easily responsible. Like, I want to make choices that help others be happy and don't cause suffering. And I think it's just a beautiful thing to expand our compassion for others. And even for people who are really selfish, the people who are close to you, if you have this flowing feeling of love and understanding, your interactions with other people will be more enjoyable and more fruitful with your team. So compassion meditation is it's just a wonderful thing for everyone. So I'm going to guide it. If you're brand new to it, it's pretty self-explanatory as we go along. So I invite everybody to get comfortable. If you've meditated before, maybe you can remember some of the nicest feeling postures you've ever had. Like, how does your spine sit? How's your shoulders? And take a few deep breaths just to energize your body. And if your eyes are open, I just invite you to close them. This meditation is meant to be entirely in your own imagination. You're mastering your consciousness. So you could take a few more breaths and imagine that you're stepping into your own mind. And you're stepping into a state of consciousness where you get to choose what you do with your focus, where you get to choose whatever feelings you want to imagine or practice. And I invite you to imagine that just feels stronger. Imagine stepping into meditation. I'm moving into a state of mind where my imagination is more free and I can practice things that will positively impact me. And then we begin our compassion meditation. So I invite you to think of family members or friends where it's just really easy for you to feel joy and love and care for them. And then I invite you to just choose one to focus on for now. We choose just one, not because there's any kind of priority or anything. It's just so that we have that person as a point of focus for this meditation technique. And as you think of that person, just let yourself enjoy. Times you're kind, times you feel good together. And if you can remember what that feels like, meditate on that. Just let the good feelings grow. Times you smile together, laugh together, the warm feeling in your heart, the kindness. Perhaps when you think of the people that are close to you, you don't feel that. So I'm going to help us grow that in a moment. And if you are feeling that positive feeling, just keep guiding your own meditation. Throw in some smiles. Notice the good feeling and take a deep breath. Imagine the good feeling expanding. And just be in your own growing of joyful, easeful compassion. And we'll come back to you in a minute. And so if you're in a place where at the moment thinking of others doesn't bring you that joy and easefulness, perhaps you might think of other friends, maybe people you haven't seen for a while, or maybe you could remember a time where thinking of those close to you just felt so easeful. And if you've tapped into that part of kindness, that connection with somebody, I invite you to also just keep guiding yourself in that meditation. Think of this person, imagine smiling at each other. Notice how good the caring feels and just let it grow. Each breath, it kind of is a bigger wave of this nice, warm, caring feeling. And I invite you to just keep guiding that, and we'll come back to you in a minute. But if, like me, when I started compassion meditation, you can't find anyone where it feels good, I invite you just to pick somebody where some part of you cares about them. And know that compassion meditation can transform everything. So as this person that you chose, you can just ask yourself, do I hope they feel okay? Perhaps you could imagine that they could feel that you're caring about them right now. No matter how rich or pure or wonderful the caring is, perhaps it's mixed up with all kinds of other thoughts and feelings that have been going on. But just imagine if they just knew that you're thinking of them and caring about them. And imagine if they felt cared for. You might notice that imagining someone else feeling cared for might feel really nice. It might feel warm. It might feel lovely. Maybe you could imagine other ways that you have positive concern for this person. Perhaps you know that you want them to be safe. Perhaps you know that you'd want them to be free from suffering or hunger. And there's definitely a part of you that's just really certain, oh yeah, there's caring. And I invite you to meditate on that and just let that caring feeling grow. There's a beauty in the caring. And as you put your attention into it, it just feels better. And as you've grown the caring, you can think of this person again and imagine giving them that caring. Maybe it'll be in your tone of voice, or a bit more patience, or the ideas you have around them, or the things you say to them. You don't need to decide on any way you'd give it to them now. Just feel yourself giving them that caring. And imagine them feeling that caring. And now everyone coming back together, if you were in your own meditation, making it more beautiful. Just everybody notice what you've just cultivated. Take a few deep breaths and cherish it. There's this beautiful gem of kindness. And imagine if every day you let it grow and feel more warm and more lovely and more beautiful. And notice that actually right now you're giving yourself a gift. So let yourself imagine giving yourself kindness, caring for yourself. And then you could imagine all the people that are in your day-to-day life. Maybe all of your close family, maybe the people you talk to often. And imagine if how you felt towards all of them, you just took the happiness dial and turned it up. Just letting yourself imagine that you feel better, warmer, kinder, more at ease with all the people in your life. And then as your mind starts to think of individuals, each person that comes to mind, send them a smile, appreciate things they've done for you, know that you wish them well and safety. Just feel this goodness growing inside of you. And for the last part of this kindness meditation, just remember the meditation. Perhaps you were able to think of people where it felt really good to care. And I invite you just to dive back into that and dive into the peak moments of the good caring and just cherish it, grow it. Imagine every compassion meditation you do from now on will feel at least that good. It's just going to be this growing wave of joy and caring and wonderfulness. Or perhaps you weren't able to just tap into it. And I invite you to remember what it was like to dig into it and to find it and to let it grow. It's like planting a seed in the mud. Maybe it's already sprouting. You now have it there and you can look at it. Or maybe you can imagine that as you meditate on it each day, you'll be planting more seeds, and the seeds you've already planted will keep growing. And after a while, they'll start to come up. And then when you go looking for this kindness and joy, it'll just be there, already shining in your consciousness. And as you keep planting more seeds, you'll have a whole field of beautiful flowers of kindness and joy. I started with a rocky, barren wasteland, and now I have an endless field of beauty, and I wish the same for you. So I invite us all to bring our hands together at our hearts. Like in some cultures when they bow to each other, or in some cultures where they pray, like bowing to the infinite, just hold your hand at your heart. Some people feel caring more in their chest, so maybe having your hand near your heart has a little sweet caring feeling to it. And maybe just rock back and forward a little bit. Just giving yourself just a moment of caring, a little smile, a little bit of bowing to each other, respecting one another, a little bit of bowing to all the goodness in the universe. And some of you may even want to wrap your arms around yourself and give yourself a hug and a smile. And then I invite you just to gently come out of the meditation. Enjoy the goodness you created. Remember how you guided the meditation, the ways you moved your attention, the things you contemplated that were more helpful for you. And then as we come out of the meditation, I really invite you to share something. Describe a little moment from your kindness meditation, share a feeling, ask a question. I would actually love it if everybody here shared something. So I invite everybody, just find some little thing that you could share. Or maybe find something great. Maybe you had something awesome happen. You normally wouldn't share it because I invite you to just put it out there. Because it's awesome. Because you're awesome. So for me, there were a few moments in the meditation. You may have heard in my voice where I remembered what it was like when I couldn't think of anybody that felt good. And I was filled with compassion for all the people in the world who feel like that right now. And I felt how special and important cultivating our mind is for so many. Lou, have you got something you'd like to share?
I feel a lot more peaceful than I did previously. So thank you.
Awesome. That's really good to hear. Mansteel? Oh, for those of you who can't see, Mansell was typing. That's cool. I haven't seen that effect in VR chat before. And they say it felt nice with a big, cute smiley face. Excellent. Venger's also typing. Or someone was typing. It was kind of popping up between the two of you. Venger, was that you typing? Or can you tell us something you'd like to share? Not sure if your mic's off. Can't hear you. Jackson, are you with us? You're near the end of the meditation. It looks like they put their headset down. Hopefully they'll be back. Well, anyway, Lou feeling peaceful. Mansell feels nice. Venture, I hope it was also good for you. Or the beginning of something wildly profound beyond what you can even imagine yet. And Lou, your question before about, this blah, blah, practicing compassion, maybe use words frustration, or in my mind, you described it as a drag. I hope you can now imagine that you just make it beautiful and nice and lovely, and then you make that feel great for a few days, and then you start to shine it out to other people, and that'll also feel great. Can you envisage that? Or does that seem to make sense?
Yeah, I'll try to work on that.
Beautiful. The world's a more enlightened place. Benji, you were typing again? Alright, well, I'm going to finish the live stream, so perhaps we can all share when we're just hanging out outside the temple. Let me check. Alright. So, I put on these sessions because I want you to be your most awesome self. I want you to know in every moment you get to choose how to feel. I want the depth that you see your ability to transform to be all the way through. That you're a fully empowered, fully creative person. And I want it to be easy. I want loving kindness meditation to be a beautiful, joyous thing all the time. I want your breathing meditation to be inspiring as you learn to navigate your amazing consciousness. And I want that for you every moment of your day. That's what these sessions are for. And I hope you take as much of that as you can. And you keep cherishing it and keep practicing it. So with that, I'll give you a bow. I honor the awesomeness within you.